What's up? What's up? It's your man ChazzEllis once again, and I'm live, live tonight. Got a lot of stuff that I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna talk about feminism and its effect on the dating market today. I'm gonna give y'all some shout outs. If we can get to it, we're gonna talk about Jada's her last comment about what happened with Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars. We're also going to talk about whether or not money should matter in a relationship. And we're also going to do our poll of the day. So y'all make sure y'all ready for that. But before we do anything, as soon as y'all come off up in here, make sure you hit that like button. Let's get that first. First and foremost, I want to see them lights. Push that button. Be an active participant in your own rescue. It doesn't cost you anything or take anything for you to push a button. So you can push the like button as soon as you get off up in here for the YouTube algorithm. You feel me knocking? So let's get them buttons pushed as we get off up and through here. I see y'all. I see you. Okay. Some people follow instructions. All right, that's the first step. All right, I see some people already starting to get in the chat box. I want everybody who's in here to get in the chat box. I'm about to do these shout outs. If you're new to us, if you come here every single time, I don't count. Either way, go ahead and get in that chat box right now. Tell me who you are and where you're from. Let's do it. Also, you know what? I'm about to show some love right off top. If you sign up with me on Patreon tonight, all masterclasses for you will be $5. $5. You can buy whatever masterclasses you want to for $5. I don't care if it's $70. I don't care if it's $80. Make sure you make a coupon for that. I didn't tell you about that. Yeah, $5. It's a celebration. So that's what we doing. So all right, everybody come on, get in the chat box and put your name down. Wahid Ali been here since before we even started. What's up, homie? We got Michelle Williams from Trinidad. I was going to try to do an accent, but then I was like, is that racist? I don't even, is it? Because it's like, when somebody be like, you introduce somebody and you're black or whatever, and then they kind of start doing the black voice. You know what I'm saying? They be like, yo, brother, what's you like, dang, is that how you talk to everybody or is that just me? But I don't really be feeling this racist even 100%, but I'll be like, is that how you talk to everybody? That's just when I come around. You start like, yo, brother, what's up? I'm that guy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. So sometimes I don't know how to feel. I don't know, like, am I supposed to get offended? Because every once in a while, I am offended when people pull it out like in a situation that doesn't really call for it. Like you could be in an argument and like, look, brother. You're like, dude, hey. Cut it out. Calm down, brother. You're like, dude, hey, now I see what you're doing here. I don't think it's that bad to use another group's basic voice that people use for them. But when you're mad at the person and you start using it, then that's why I think it becomes unacceptable. You can't use it in an argument. You know what I'm saying? Then it's unacceptable. Okay, let's see. We got Tondrilla 2 back again. Michelle says it's not racist according to her. So look, hey. I'm not going to say she speaks for all people, all Trinidadians. What is it? I'm not going to say she speaks for all of them, but hey, She says she's cool, you know. I'm cool for the most part. I don't really think a lot of stuff. It's all for me. It's always the spirit of whatever somebody does, not necessarily that the particular action, but it's like, what were you really trying to accomplish? All right, who's all in here? What up? I'm gonna need more people to get in that chat box because I want to give them shout outs. What's up? Like I said, make sure you sign up with me on Patreon today. You will get any masterclass. I don't care if it's $60. I don't care if it's $70. I don't give a damn what it is. Yes, I have visited the Caribbean. I don't care what it is. If you sign up today, you'll get that for $5, and you can buy several of them if you want to, which I always regret. Which I always regret after I do it. But I be in a happy giving mood. You know what I'm saying? It's a celebration. I be going places. I be doing stuff. Let's see who else came in. Here's my bit. That title. You had me at hello. You had me at hello. You had me at hello. Is Jerry Maguire a top 5 romantic comedy? Yes or no? I'm just is it a top 5 romantic comedy? I'm wondering. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do people think? I think it might be. I ain't really going through all of them in my head yet, but I think it might be. It might be. Show me the money. I think I yelled in the mic a little too loud. Show me the money. Show me the money. Yeah, I definitely went red on that. Doop doop doop. All right, if you're back in here, hit me with some more likes. Top 5, I give it that. Okay. Here's my bit, says she gives it top 5. All right, while y'all in here, make sure y'all try to show the chat some love. You know what I mean? Show me some love for the lives. I do this because I love it, but it would help if you support it. You feel what I'm saying? So make sure y'all send me some stickers. Make sure y'all send me some super chats. I'm going to be answering questions somewhere around in here. So make sure y'all definitely just show me some love. You feel what I'm saying? All right. Here is the poll for today. Is it okay to go Dutch on the first date? That's the poll. Is it okay to go Dutch on the first date? Y'all vote on the poll. That's going to be up in a minute. Is it okay to go Dutch on the first date? That is today's poll. I'm on everything. Chaz is funny on TikTok. Just go on chat on TikTok and put in ChazzEllis. I got a few TikToks. Okay. Is it okay to go Dutch on the first date? That means if for people who are in different countries, that this may not be the terminology. Is it okay to split it on the first date? We're going to come back to that at the end of, or towards the end of the broadcast. Make sure you vote, because if you don't actually vote, then we won't know. It won't count towards the overall. You feel what I'm saying? We won't have no idea what your ass said. By the time we get done, nobody will remember what you said. So make sure you vote. All right, the topic, our main topic that we're going to get into is feminism and the effect that it's had on the dating market. Basically, how feminism has affected dating and what it's done for men. And I feel, based on my research, based on what I've seen, that it's actually helped the player or the F-boy. You know what I'm saying? I try not to use a whole bunch of foul language on these podcasts because I just feel like you don't really need to do that. But I feel like it's had a positive effect on that particular group. And we're going to go into that a little bit. I want to know if you guys knew about this. We've been talking about this Will and Jada thing, and I think this might be wrapping it up. But I'm going to talk about this for a second. Did you guys know? Did you guys hear the last statement from Jada? Do you guys hear what happened with the last statement? And basically, I'm going to paraphrase. I'm trying to pull it up. I don't have it. But basically, she was like, yeah, she felt like Will overreacted in the situation. And she's not the type of woman who needs to be defended. If y'all got the exact statement, hit me with that. But that's basically what she said, is that Will overreacted in this situation. She's not the type of woman that need to be protected. I don't feel like she completely threw him under the bus, but I don't feel like she helped him out either. The statement didn't seem to help him out either. Tondrella said she's not wrong, though. I don't think she's wrong, but that shouldn't have came from her. To me. That's like if I slap somebody on your behalf and you don't come out and say anything for several days, and then the first thing you come out and say is that I overreacted or something like that. I'm like, why don't you just shut up? If you're not gonna come out and just completely defend me and we supposed to be together, why don't you just shut up? You know what I'm saying? Just don't say anything. If I'm not gonna say something in your defense, I'm not gonna say anything. You know what I'm saying? If you do something for me as far as physical, and I feel you were totally wrong. I feel you were totally wrong for what you did, but I know you did it for me. It's so bad I can't really co-sign. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not going to say anything. I'm like, they ask me about it. I'm like, man, I ain't got no comment on that. You know what I mean? That's their business. That's between them two. What you want me to say? I think they squashed it. That's what I would have said. I'm like, didn't they squash it? Let's just leave it alone. They squashed the situation. I would have talked about the aftermath. Man, I'm glad they was able to squash the situation. That was rough. But luckily they was able to get through it like two grown adults and, hey, let's keep it moving. Just leave it at that. If I'm not going to defend you or I'm not going to try to big up you or nothing like that, I'm just not going to say anything. And that's what I would expect from a friend and then what I would give to a friend, especially in a relationship. Now, if I'm in a relationship with you, I'm going to ride with you like, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to ride with you like you did the right thing. But your girl went up and slapped at me. They deserved it. Stop messing with her. I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear none of that. Now that may be ignorant to a lot of people. It is. It is. I'm with you. It is. But I feel when you together, you got to be a united front. It can't be about nothing else but y'all. I'm not going to worry about my career. I'm not going to worry about the PR stuff. I'm not going to worry about that when it's us and we're together. Especially if I saw you go off the deep end for me like that. You wasn't worried about what would happen to you. You wasn't worried about your career. You weren't worried about nothing. If I saw you go off the deep end for me like that, I'm right with you. Oh, we ignorant together. We gonna get wrong together. We could be like Bobby and Whitney and just make each other worse. I feel like that's what love got to be though. It can't be no. Now in private, I'm gonna tell you, you gotta stop slapping people. You can't keep doing this. That was ignorant. Why? What made you think that was cool? I tell you that when we're by ourselves. But I'm never gonna side with somebody that's an outsider over family or over somebody I'm with. You know, I just don't. You know, even when you're a kid, you taught not to do that because it's like, how do y'all trust each other then when you side with somebody else? You know, when you switch sides, that ain't it. Let's go to the comments and then we'll go to the next thing. She said, yes, Jada something else. You summed it up perfectly. Jada is a professional emasculator. I can see that. That's not ride or die. Yeah, okay, in the street you right all day, and I'm going to correct you when you get home. Yeah, for me, I'm going to say something to you. Look, that ain't it. You probably should stop doing that before you go to jail. You're lucky you didn't. But I don't feel like you do that in the street. Like you don't side with somebody else or go against the person you're with. You know, if it's a situation where it's like where they just going crazy, you stopping them in the moment, that's different. Like, whoa, chill out. You know what I mean? In the moment, but you don't come up and make a statement about the person. Who is that helping? Apparently, Will has also been banned from the Oscars for 10 years. For those of you, which I think is fake as hell. I think that is fake as hell. I'm totally against what Will did in that situation. You don't smack somebody for just talking on stage, no matter what they say. If it would have been a white dude on there and he'd have called Will the N-word, I don't believe you go up on stage and slap him for that. Because it's words, and I don't think you need to teach people, especially young people watching and kids, that you go and crash out over some words. You could tell the Oscars, hey, don't ever have this dude come back, you know, or whatever the case may be. But you don't need to, especially when you're Will Smith, you're powerful enough that you can really hurt the person's pockets and not let them do certain stuff because of who you are. So why are you going up here slapping people? But I think it's fake as hell for the Oscars to ban Will for 10 years. And the reason why I say that is because you wasn't doing that at the time. Y'all was over here clapping for Will, and y'all didn't kick Will out. You know, y'all let Will go, and he was rapping at the after party. Like, you let the man sit there and watch the whole show. You let him be out here rapping at the after party and do his thing and all that kind of stuff. And then you're gonna kick the man out. You're gonna kick the man out of the or ban the man for 10 years. After that, it seemed like public opinion came around. Y'all waited to see how it was gonna go, and then you said, okay, let's ban Will for 10 years. That ain't it to me. That ain't it. It's like Will and already slapped somebody. Y'all let him ride out, have a good time at the party. Then it's like, oh, okay, now we're gonna ban Will for 10 years after the fact. Man, get out of here. Y'all should have kicked him out of that particular Oscar. You're like, oh, we're gonna let him win the Oscar first, then kick him out. Get on. Somebody said at least they didn't take the Oscar from him. Yeah, and it's like, even if they did that, I'd be like, what? Why are you gonna take it from him? You could have just not gave it to him. If you gave it to him already, you did the whole show. Don't try to take it from him now. That's stupid too. I agree with you. I would have thought that was even more lame. I think it is lame that you try to ban him for 10 years and you still didn't even take his Oscar. Which I don't think you should do that either. I don't think you should do either one is what I'm saying. Like, you didn't care at the time, so keep it moving. You didn't care when it happened, so don't try to do no 10-year ban. You know what I mean? He had already partied. He had already partied at the Oscars. He been rapping and drinking, having a good time at the Oscars this whole time. Already won his little Oscar, did his acceptance speech, cried. He did all that. Now you gonna say we're gonna ban him from the other Oscars that he's probably not gonna win for the next 10 years? What are you talking about? Y'all goofy as hell, man. It's the type of stuff. It's the type of stuff I can't with people. All right, everybody, make sure that you are showing love to the chat. Hit that like button. Make sure you hit that like button right now. Hit the like button. Also, make sure you go down here and get and hit the super chats and send me stickers. Okay, send me stickers all night long. I want stickers coming like every couple minutes. Sticker. You get a sticker. You get a sticker. You get a sticker. Hit me like they did Oprah. Just, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like, just virtually shower me like they be doing them strippers at the club. Make it tsunami with the stickers and the super chats. All right, we're going to go back to the comments. All right, somebody said, Will needs help. He appears to be on the edge of a breakdown. He might already be there. I said, dude was crying. You saw it? I really don't care too much for Will or Jada, but it was unfortunate this happened. At this point, they as a family just need to quietly go away and work on their issues privately. I think that would probably, and I don't like to tell mugs to go away or nothing like that, but at the end of the day, damn, if you don't want people to keep talking about you, you gotta go find somewhere to work on your stuff. You can't keep doing it in front of everybody. You know what I'm saying? And then expect people to not talk about it and not clown you, especially if you're going to be sensitive about jokes and stuff like that, but you put all your business out there in the world. Nobody would even know 90% of the stuff that's going on if y'all didn't tell them. Definitely. Oh, snap. I'm on Cali time. You good, though? Cecilia. You good? Because we really just getting going. We really just getting going. You ain't even too far behind now. If you would have been really Cali time, you'd have came in when the mug was over. The credits would be rolling. Turn out the lights. All of that. Make sure you hit that like button when you come in. All right, everybody, when you come in, you hit that like button. Just like you wipe your feet on the mat when you go in grandma's house, you got to hit that like button when you come in. You know how they say, speak to me when you come in here? Don't you come in here without speaking to me. Oh, yeah. Tandra, thank you for telling us that. If you want to know about everything, turn the notifications on. Click the bell. Then you will know what's going on. If you want to know what's going on, click the bell. Then you going to know what's going on. You could be like Marvin Gaye and know what's going on. All right, so the topic, this is going to be our main topic that I'm going to talk about, and it's feminism, a F-boy's paradise. Y'all know what I mean by F-boy. I'm keeping it PG for y'all, you know what I'm saying? I ain't going to get too disrespectful with the language. If I do by accident, you got to accept it. You got to accept it. Things happen in life. Okay. So now, when I talk about feminism, I'm not trying to get into the total political definition and all of that kind of stuff for some of the people who want to come in here and be historians and all of that. All my poli-sci majors in the chat. We're just talking about feminism in the overall as people see it nowadays, okay? In the muddled waters where nobody really knows exactly what it is 100%, but we all have our ideas, okay? So that's the basis of this discussion. Now, I understand that the feminist movement has produced a lot for women in terms of wages. We can argue about the gender wage gap and whether it really exists or whether it's a certain lack of information to pull that calculation together. We can argue about that, but we're not. We're just going to talk. We're going to say that yes, women have made certain progress over the years. There are things that they can do that may have been impossible just 30, 40 years ago. But there have been some setbacks to go along with that. There have been some setbacks to go along with that. And there have been some things about the feminist movement and what we, in this version of feminism that we now have, that has left a lot of women really out in the cold. Thank you, Tandrella. That have really left women out in the cold. A lot of women have been left out in the cold by the feminist movement. It's kind of like what happened with integration. Here were all of the moves forward that happened with integration. Like they integrated the major leagues with Jackie Robinson and then several other players that came after him. That was the move forward for the black community. Now, the negative that nobody talked about was the Negro League disappeared. So everybody who didn't go to the majors lost their job. Everybody who owned teams that these black guys played for before they went to the majors, what do you think happened to them? Their teams folded, right? They didn't get major league teams. Their teams folded. This also happened with businesses. This also happened with schools. When the schools would integrate, a lot of the black schools would end up left behind. Even less funding, and then they often would close. People who had a business, so say you had a diner in town and you served the black community. Now that the diners became integrated so people could go eat over there, your diner closed in a lot of cases. Your hotel closed in a lot of cases. Your theater closed in a lot of cases. So this is an example of progress being made for some people getting left behind. Then the black community started having what you would call brain drain. And basically, this is when the top people who live in this community, it used to be like my dad was telling me about this. This is probably like 20 years ago. He was telling me about this. He was like, when I was growing up, if you lived in a black community, the doctor lived right next to you. The lawyer would live right down the street. The teachers, the business owners, everybody would live in the same community because you couldn't move out. My father was born in 1953. So he was saying when he was a kid, thank you in love. He was like, when I was a kid, you could not move out of the black neighborhood if you were black. It wasn't happening. They had segregation. So and my dad, when he was younger, was growing up in Alabama. So it was like, it ain't happening. Like, they don't care how much money you got. Man, I got $10 million. That's where you live over there. You come over here, you ain't gonna make it. So there was a sense of community because of that. And I'm gonna bring this around so y'all can kind of understand what I'm saying. So it was a sense of community. And then when integration became popular and it really, really, really kind of hit, around the 70s where people really start moving more and more and more, and then more in the 80s, that's when the black communities ceased to exist and they started becoming more ghettos. You get what I'm saying? It stopped being like really a black community and started being more of a poor community that black people lived in. Because you start seeing all the wealth just leaving and bail into the suburbs and bail into predominantly white communities. So although integration was good for some people, obviously not so much for other people. Feminism is the same way. Feminism has been good for some people. It has been crap for the vast majority, which is really like integration is. It's like, hey, it's like every movement. It's like capitalism. It's like the Industrial Revolution. It's like every other thing that ever happens. There's a small group of people who really get a win. It's a small group of people who really get a win, right? And then everybody else takes an L. Everybody else basically gets nothing. That their situation doesn't really change at all, or it gets worse. And that's kind of what's happened with feminism. Feminism is like this. And like I said, we're talking about just like the overall as we see it now. When you start talking about equality, unfortunately, it's almost impossible to measure equality because people want different things and strive for different things. So when you have somebody like Oprah Winfrey, drop a donation link for PayPal also. And Patreon. You can also get on Patreon, y'all, if y'all want to. I see some people trying to donate. If you don't have the whatever stuff to donate on here, you can go on. I'll send a link for you guys to be able to do it on PayPal and on Patreon also. If you get on Patreon though, you can get master classes for $5. I got all kind of free content and stuff like that on there too. So you might as well just get on Patreon, do whatever donating you want to do, show a little bit of love, and I'm gonna keep showing you love back because that's what I like to do. You know me. So anyway, if you were in a situation where your finances, like say you got into, as the feminist movement comes around, and if you're a person like, say you're a person like Oprah Winfrey, then you're going to benefit at the highest level from the fact that women have more rights and more opportunities. And now you can get your own network. You can get some of this. And now we can say this is benefiting from the feminist movement, and maybe it is. But this is the person that benefits at the highest level. The CEOs of companies who probably wouldn't have got put in that position, even 15 years ago. Now you're in that position. People who are running companies, people who are female police chiefs, female doctors, female lawyers. These are things that were not as available to women even 10, 15, 20 years ago. And they're becoming more and more available now. So these are kind of like what you would call, for the most part, the winners of the feminist lottery, if you would say, or I guess, for lack of a better term. These are people who win in this situation. And then you got all the other people who didn't benefit, so it becomes a loss. So if you're working as a nurse, for instance, you could have worked as a nurse 40 years ago. If you're a teacher, you could have been a teacher 40 years ago, 50 years ago. There was nothing stopping you from doing that. That's not. So when you might look at the movement and say, oh, well, this helped me. It's like, did it really? It didn't really make it to where nurses got paid a whole lot more to be nurses. It didn't make it to where teachers got paid a whole lot more to be teachers. And these are predominantly female professions. And they still are to this day. So you start asking yourself the question, wait a minute. What did the movement really do to help me. My situation seems like it may be exactly the same as it would have been. So now you got to start thinking, okay, so what's the change for all of us? And the change that's happened here recently is there's really been a movement to make promiscuity okay, and to make women feel comfortable sleeping with multiple men. And I'm going to say something. I would not be surprised if 20 to 30 years from now, we figure out that the whole feminist movement push was actually created by a man. I would not be surprised. Because if you are what society would call a F-boy, a player, or something like that, the feminist movement in its current state is the greatest thing that has ever happened since the invention of the condom. That is the greatest thing that has ever happened to a player. And I'm going to tell you why. Let's go back in our time machine. It's 1922. Let's take out all racism and stuff like that from this, okay? Because y'all could be different races. So we're gonna just say it's 1922 in a bubble, okay? So it's 1922. I like you. I see you from across the room. I find you attractive, and I want to talk to you. It's 1922. Now, what I'm most likely going to have to do is I'm going to have to go ask your father for permission to take up with you, which means I'm going to have to carry your books back and forth. Like, we wouldn't be grown. We'd be teenagers most likely, because otherwise we'd already be married. So I'm going to have to sit up here and take your books back and forth to school. I'm going to have to sing you little songs at church. And I'm going to have to go through a whole bunch of crap, basically. Buy you little flowers and all this old kind of stuff. And I'm also going to have to compete with probably 3 or 4 other dudes who are trying to do the exact same thing. If you are a pretty good looking, desirable girl, I'm going to have to sit up here and fight with a bunch of dudes for the privilege to carry your books back and forth to school, for the privilege to buy you a soda, for the privilege to come sit on your front porch while your parents look at us. Maybe they might go inside and look at us out the window. But that's pretty much what I'm going to get. To smash, bruh, that ain't happening. I mean, yeah, there were outliers where you could pay for it. Don't get me wrong. There's some people that was like, but I'm talking about for most people in the way the situation will go. I'm not smashing. That wouldn't even be something that I would think about. I wouldn't even think about it. I'd be like, yo, that's not going to happen. My thought process would be, I have to marry this girl. And then in most cases, for me to marry somebody who is desirable, I would have to have a good job. I got to have money. Depending on the situation, whether, depending on the financial climate. But still, I've got to be in a situation where I'm actually doing pretty well in order to ask you to marry me. And that will probably be the first time that I ever get to be intimate with you. That's what I got to go through. Then I'm going to be responsible for financially caring for you and whatever offspring for the rest of your life. Now, if you have the ability to be Oprah, I see where that's a loss. If you're Oprah, I see where that's a loss. If you're the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, I see where that's a loss. Like, oh man, I don't want nobody to take care of me for the rest of my life and, be at home with some kids and all of that kind of stuff. I see where that's a loss. But somebody's got to scrub the floor. And there's a whole lot of women doing that. There's a whole lot of women who are maids. There's a whole lot of women who are out here struggling their ass off. And there are people who would have been able to marry medium to upper tier men. You get what I'm saying? These are people who, in a lot of cases, could have married medium to upper tier men 40, 50 years ago. Now they're in a situation where they can't even find a lower tier man who actually want to be in a situation where they can't find a lower tier man who actually wants to be serious in a real relationship or get married. What the feminist movement has ended up doing is creating a world where a man can just say, you know what, if I go to the gym from now every now and again, I'm pretty decent looking, I got a little bit of game to me, I'm pretty cool. You can actually have 10 women chasing after you on a regular basis. I mean, you got 10 women at your disposal with no real effort whatsoever. That's what feminism has done, because it's created a situation where most women expect to work, and they expect to work their entire lives. Even the ones who say, I want a man to take care of me and all that kind of stuff, they may want it, but they don't expect it. They don't expect it. They don't believe that's going to happen, because there's too many women that it doesn't happen for anybody to be delusional enough to really believe that's going to happen. Yeah, that may be your ideal situation, but that's just like if you go to a job, you're like, yo, man, I don't want to have to work on the weekends. But most of the time you will accept it. If the salary is halfway decent, you will accept it because you know that it may not go that way, because that's just how the world is. This is what I'm saying. If you look at what feminism has done, it's like everything else in the world. A few people have benefited at the highest rate. And then people who would have been in a situation where they would have been just fine. Most of you who are watching this broadcast right now, who are working every freaking day, and it's not a job you really like, if you look in the mirror, you're probably medium level attractiveness or above. Which means if it was 1955, you would probably have somebody who had a pretty good job who could support your entire family on their one income. If it was 1965, even 1975, you would probably find somebody who would be able to support you and your entire family on their one income. That's a person who would want to be married to you. But nowadays, and the person will probably be medium to upper level in attractiveness. Nowadays, if a person is just that eager to get married to somebody, they're usually lower level attractiveness. They usually don't really have a whole lot of ability to support you. Am I lying? Because it doesn't take much for a guy to have a ridiculous amount of options. It doesn't take much for a guy to have a ridiculous amount of options. Most guys who don't have a lot of options usually struggle in a couple of areas. They either don't have any confidence, can't talk to girls, their physical situation is bad, and their financial situation is mediocre to bad. And that's it's usually all of those in order to not be able to have a pretty decent amount of women to choose from. So that's what happened is feminism basically made the pool of competition ridiculous, because it's not even like people say, well, y'all need to just not sleep with these guys and y'all need to hold out till you get married. That's easy to say, but if everybody else around you is putting out on a first date for somebody, if everybody else is around you is trying to get pregnant by a pro ball player or a rapper, so basically they're just running through girls all day, every day, rather than being in a situation where they're settling down with one person, taking them off the market, then that just makes it more difficult. It makes it to where you can't really say, oh, I'm not going to sleep with anybody. Oh, I'm going to wait till I get married. Because 9 times out of 10, you'll be waiting years. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years. And you may still not find anybody who wants to wait until marriage, because that's not what they're expecting. Even guys who are like really good dudes and all that, they think that's so ridiculous because they never seen anyone do it before. They're like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to wait till I get married to sleep with you? You must have somebody else. I'm out. Get out of my face. On to the next 15 girls. It's like this. This is how the situation works. The competition, you have to be in it whether you want to or not. You can't even say, oh, I don't want to be a part of the competition. I don't compete with nobody. It doesn't matter. Say I'm a heart surgeon, and I'm a great heart surgeon, and my fee is $65,000, which isn't really bad for a heart surgeon. That's not too bad. And people have to pay it and want to pay it because you need heart surgery. It's not like you can say, oh, well, you know what? I'll put it off till next. You may not be here next year. You know what I'm saying? Like, you may try to say you're going to put it off till whenever, but you may not make it another day. That's what's up. Thank you. That's Jeanette Marie Littlejohn says she just joined Patreon. Appreciate that. Much love. But if I'm a heart surgeon and I'm charging that $65,000, you got no choice. But say another heart surgeon comes around and this fool start charging $5,000, and he's good too. And then say another one starts charging $5,000 and she just as good. So now I look crazy trying to charge $65,000. I'm over here like, man, I'm not worried about them. I'm not competing with them. But now I don't have customers anymore. And my customers looking at me like I'm crazy and I'm overcharging. They looking at me like I'm really kind of just trying to get over on somebody, and I'm a liar, a cheat, and a thief. Because I'm asking for something so much more. So now it's like back in the day where everybody was saying, yo, I got to be married before I sleep with somebody. This is what I expect before I sleep with somebody. Now, you look crazy. You look like a thief. You look like you're trying to get over. You look like you're trying to scam if you do the same thing. You see what I'm saying? So it's a situation now where no matter who you are as a woman, you're caught in a situation where you can try to say, oh, I'm going to wait, I'm going to do all this and blah, 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 blah. And yeah, every once in a while it works for somebody who could find a person who would go for that. But that's luck of the draw. It used to be you had a bunch of people to pick through who were willing to wait. Now it's like you got to weed through and you got to hope and wait. And usually you got to date somebody that's 2 or 3 rungs lower than you in order for them to do it. And it's like, damn. It's like, damn, if I was born a few years earlier, I'd be in a situation where this person would be on my front porch right now singing me songs, writing me little poetry and stuff. It sucks. And conversely, for a lot of guys, where you're an average nice guy, whatever you want to call it, if you're one of these guys, the struggle is real because the way that the system has basically worked is now the highest tier guys are just dating a whole bunch of girls, smashing them left and right, which leaves nothing for people in the lower tier. Because the middle get a few, and then when you're like just kind of, it's kind of regular, no disrespect to anybody, but we just like real regular, there's nothing left over for you. So when y'all call these guys F-boys and all that kind of stuff, you got to understand the reality is the system creates this. It creates this type of mentality because that's what's in front of you. You got to remember, it used to be women used to have 3 or 4 guys trying to court them at one time, and they would pick which one they liked the best. This is real. Look it up. Now guys are doing that because what feminism was designed or was supposed to do was make things better for women. But what women didn't realize was every time you gain something, you lose something. And it's usually a group of people do better, but whoever was at the top before does worse. So if you are attractive, sweet, great personality having woman who like to date attractive, high level men, you are the person that took the loss. Maybe you weren't even alive when it started, but you took the loss. And maybe you never even got to enjoy it, but you took the loss, and you've been taking the loss probably your entire life. You were the swap out. If it was 1955, your ass would have it made right now. But I'll bet you're probably working 80 hours a week. But you would have it made in 1955. You'd probably be somewhere, by the pool, sipping your little drink or whatever, maybe yelling at 2 kids. Shut your asses up. Probably have a maid. I'm being serious. Because it didn't take as much to do that, because obviously when you start having more 2-income households, you have people making money separately, then prices go up. Jobs start paying less. So now you got 2 people working and they're making less than that one person would have made if that was the only one that had to have a job. People don't think about this. So yeah, if you're a heart surgeon, if you're a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, if you're Oprah or somebody like that, then sure. The movement probably helped you. You probably happy. If you were somebody who wasn't going to get a man no way, if you don't even like men, then it helped you. But if you're a person who would have been able to get a mid-level to top-level guy, if you are attractive, if you have a personality that is enticing to men, then you are the loser of the feminist movement. You took a loss. There's no doubt about it. You can get mad, you can argue it all you want to. You took a loss. If you are a sweet, kind, pretty nurse, you took a loss. Because you got a job you would have been able to get anyway. And now you can't get a man to go with it. And if you do, most of the time that's a struggle. Y'all would have been balling out off both of your incomes because everybody wouldn't have had 2 incomes. Now you struggling out here in these streets, trying to do it by yourself. You and your man probably broke up. You might be raising some kids by yourself. That's a result of the same stuff. If your man was out here cheating, thank you, Tondrella. If your man was out here cheating, you got to ask yourself, what created a culture that makes it that easy? That easy for dudes to cheat. I'm not saying that they didn't always cheat. I'm not saying that. There's a little bit of a myth of there being so much cheating back in the past. I'm not saying they didn't always cheat. But I'm saying people don't think about how much easier it is now for a dude to cheat and everybody know he's in a relationship. And not only cheat, but hit the girl raw, get the girl pregnant, because of the system that has been created that makes that acceptable not only to him, but to her also. How often do you think a woman would have said, you know what? I know you married to somebody else. I know I just met you yesterday, but let me lay down and let you go ahead and get me pregnant. But now people know, hey, I'm going to get child support. Hey, they got a whole system in place for this. Even though he's with another woman, he could be married to another woman, but he's still going to give me some money. I might be getting more than a wife when this is all said and done. This is all part of this feminist movement, whether they want to claim it or not. This is all part of it. It creates the hookup culture. It creates the hoe phase. And you might have felt like, man, I got involved in that too. Yeah, you got involved in it because they told you that was what you're supposed to do. They didn't tell you what happens at the end of the rainbow. They say, oh man, go out there and explore, have all your fun and do everything you want to do. And you're like, okay. And then everybody was doing it. So it was like, well, I guess I got to do it too because everybody's doing it. And this is what's expected. And this is what we should be doing, I guess. But a lot of them same women that told you to do that stuff, a lot of them were married. A lot of them already had their little man. I don't cook. I don't clean. Let me show you I got this ring. Then you see a video of Cardi B sweeping the floor. And Offset talking about, yeah, she lying to y'all. She does clean. That's what they do. They create this leadership group that tells all these women, oh, you don't need a man. Go out here and work and your job will be fulfilling and it's going to make you happy and all of this. And so women get out there and work. Now they got all the money in the world, but they don't have anybody who they can connect with. So what does that leave room for? The broke player. See, now you don't even have to have money or a job. Think about it this way. A man used to have a job to get a bunch of women, at least a little bit of money. But now you could be in prison and not have anything. Y'all ever watch Love After Lockup? Oh, they got a video of Cardi B sweeping. There's a video of her sweeping. And you could tell it was real because of the lighting. You know, usually when they got a fake video, they give you good lighting. No, Cardi B out here sweeping. Cardi B out here cleaning up. Don't get it twisted. We saw her. You gotta think, though. What happens is like you create this hookup culture. You create this system, and then what do you get? What do you get? What do you gain? What's the net gain for most women? Now you got it where a dude could be broke as hell. A dude could be living in a van down by the river, but if he's pretty attractive, got pretty decent amount of game and charisma, he's going to smash a different woman every day of the week. It's because it's women with money who are lonely. They're going to buy that man new clothes, buy him new shoes. And I'm not downing nobody for doing that. Hey, the people who succeed in life are the people who learn how to play the game in the way that it currently exists. And people want to call them a lot of names and be mad because somebody done mastered the game and they're playing it the way it exists. I always say, don't hate the player, hate the game. You can't get mad at somebody for playing the game the way it exists. Just like these dudes be getting mad at gold diggers. It's harder to be a gold digger now. To be real with you. Like when I say it's hard to be a gold digger, it's harder to be a gold digger and not basically be somebody who that's your only focus in life. That's becoming harder and harder. Because now there's so many people trying to do what you do. Like I was looking at Tristan Thompson. I can't remember how many babies it said he had. But I was thinking to myself, damn, look at all these women who making money off of this dude. because they got kids by him, and he's about to retire from the NBA in a couple years. He only got a few more years left. What happens if his money stops? What if he messed all his money up? And there's so many people biting at that apple. There's so many people cutting pieces out of that pie. I'm just saying, man. The world is different. It's a lot more difficult now, even though it seems like for a lot of women, they feel like it's easier. Like, oh man, it's some real opportunities, it's real money out here for me. I can get over on a lot of these guys. But if that's not you, especially, and that's not really your heart, and that's not really how you move, what happens to you? What happens to somebody who's like, you know what, I don't want to be a professional gold digger. I just want to work, and I want to get a man, and, you know, if I can find somebody I really love, that I would like to, you know, be in a situation where I'm a housewife or something like that, and taking care of my kids. That's what I wanted. But because the way the system is set up now, and the way that some people have been able to do certain things and move a certain way, it's like it's 10 times more difficult for you to do that than it would have been if this was 1955 or even 1985. It keeps getting worse. It keeps getting more difficult. All right, we're going to go to the comments. Somebody was saying if a dude did create that, he's genius. Somebody agree. Feminism is also, this is Tandrella too. Feminism is also good for women who can't get married or don't want to get married to a man. Somebody said, oh my God, that's true. Men can be toe up, but have some sweet world, nice voices. Man, he'll get the ladies. Yeah, you ain't never look. You don't have to have much nowadays. If you got just a little bit of game, you can say a little cool stuff. You gonna get women now. A lot of guys will beg to differ, but they also don't admit that they don't have a baseline of what women want. A lot of guys are like, oh man, nah, these women don't want anybody nowadays, and these women are really picky and all that. But most of the time, guys who say that are people who are, their number one thing is that they're shy and they don't really have game. You can really, if you just develop game nowadays, because of the way the world is now, if you just develop game, you don't need anything else. Somebody else will buy all your clothes. Somebody else will take care of you. Everything you want in life, if you just have some game. Because there's enough women out here with money that will do it. And if one woman get tired of you and start talking trash, you could literally go get another one. There's so many women out here who got money, who can't find a man on their financial level, and they don't want to marry nobody who's not on their financial level. So now they just let some dude that doesn't have anything smash all he want to, drive their car, they pay his cell phone bill and all that kind of stuff, and he don't have to make any commitment because they don't want to show their friends that this is the person that they're with. That'd make it even easier if you're a player. If you're somebody who actually was sincere about the girl, then it would hurt your feelings. But if you're a player, you're like, living in the gangster's paradise. You know what I'm saying? Regular women don't want to wait for relations that long either. That's because the culture is that way. Women don't want to wait for anything now because we live in a microwave culture. And this makes women think that, man, first of all, you done slept with multiple men by the time you get to be 18, 19 years old anyway. So now you have a certain expectation of what you're going to get from a physical relationship. And you got to make sure that every guy you deal with matches up to that before you fall in love or have a serious relationship with them. We'll just keep the body count going up and up and up and up. But it also makes it easier for dudes that are players. Okay, so now all I got to do is be nice to the girl for about 2 weeks, 3 dates, whatever comes first. And I'm going to smash a few times and then move on to the next. By the time she figure out what kind of dude I really am, I will have already hit. Hookup culture is not empowering for women. No, really, it's not. It's the dream of the player. Hookup culture. My uncle I was talking to one time, and I'm not supposed to identify people. I got several uncles, so I'm gonna do. Okay, I was talking to my uncle one time, and another family member who I want to identify. They're both older dudes, and they was like, "Man, y'all got it made nowadays. Back when we was young, it was so hard to get something from a chick. You had to jump through hoops. You had to do magic tricks to get a girl to put out." He said, "Now, man, all y'all gotta do is tell a girl she look good, and say something nice to her, and you hit it." And he's right. That's a fact. And if she won't let you, you can just move on to the next. Now they got the internet, so really you could just swipe and meet girl after girl after girl until you find one that will go for it on the first date or two. Women can't even sit up here and, like, if they say no, you don't even care. You're like, no, okay. You could talk to 5, 10 girls at the same time. Because the expectation is so low anyway. It's not like a woman could be like, okay, this is what I expect from a man, and really be able to get it most of the time. So they'll be like, I'll only push for that expectation from somebody I don't really like that much. But if it's a guy I really, really like and he won't give me the stuff that I want, most women will just accept whatever he will give them. And it's not like they really have much of a choice. We can judge it. We can say whatever we want, but it's not like they really have much of a choice, because usually it's either that, some really low level dude that they don't want, or nothing. That's like a job, man. I don't want this job. This job sucks. I mean, we do got this job. Damn, that's even worse. We got nothing. We got unemployment. We got homelessness. Man, I go ahead and take this graveyard shift. That's how I go. So Cecilia said, "Oh yeah, being a side chick is the thing now." Being a side chick, and I'm gonna be real with y'all. There are people who pay me, and I'm not judging it, and I appreciate the money. I'm not here to judge nobody's choices, but there are people who pay me to help them figure out exactly the best way to be a side chick. They're like, hey, it used to be dudes wanted to do that, but over the last several years, there are more women who are really trying to work themselves into the side chick game. They're like, look, I don't want to be the main chick. I got a good job and stuff like that. I'm doing all right, but I want some extras, and I want to just go places and do stuff and have fun, and I don't want to be with no man. Because that's what they've been taught. That's what they've been programmed to believe throughout their entire lives. A lot of times their mom wasn't married or nothing like that, and sometimes people teach their kids sour grapes type of stuff. So it's like, well, my mom didn't want no man. I don't need no man either. This is what I'm looking for. And a lot of women do now want to be side chicks. They feel like it's, but you got to remember, it's a lot of incentive to be a side chick. If you do get pregnant, then he gonna have to take care of the baby. You can get all of the perks of being the main chick with none of the basic responsibilities. So, you know what I mean? Going back to biblical days, men could have 100 concubines. Yeah, now I want to talk about that. Men could have 100 concubines back in biblical days, but those were only a few men who had a whole lot of money. They were the equivalent of the balling out the gym type of dude now. Now, you can literally be sleeping in a van and have 100 women if you look pretty good and you got some game. You could definitely have, and it used to be he would have to take care of the concubines. Now, the man got the concubines taking care of him. Totally different ball game. Women in a lot of cases are not benefiting off of the relationship at all. They only benefit off the relationship if the dude is a couple rungs lesser than them. That's the only time women generally can benefit off a relationship, or if they just got lucky enough to meet somebody who really liked them. Yeah, I mean, of course, there's going to be people who slip through the cracks. It's like people make it out the ghetto. You know what I mean? But the ghetto not designed to make it out of there. People do make it out, but if you look at the numbers, you look at the statistics, it says usually if you're born in the ghetto, that's where you die. So yeah, if some people gonna still have good, healthy, fun relationships even now, but that's not the majority. You know, and no numbers support that that's the majority. Yeah, like Tandrella said, those women were taken care of, though. Yep. Do men care only about looks? Do men think about career and income if they want a relationship? Okay, we're going to get into that in just a little while. Man, hey, somebody said, oh, she's not supposed to get pregnant. Man, you got more side chicks out here getting pregnant than ever before. Because the system is set up for that. Unfortunately, like the kids kind of do suffer because, you know, a lot of times the kid that the dude didn't even want and stuff like that. That could be rough. But it's definitely something that you see a lot more of. You see so much more of side chicks out here getting pregnant. Side chicks out here doing the most, man. Like side chicks are bold nowadays. And I think the boldness really comes from the fact that it used to be a certain amount of shame in being a side chick. Like just public shame. But that doesn't really exist anymore. Nobody gonna hold you accountable for being a side chick. You could just lie and say you didn't know. You could just, you know what I mean? Like, you could just make up anything. People will usually get mad at the man. That's another part of the feminist movement, is it kind of became this thing where women very rarely want to hold each other accountable for anything that they do. And what that does, it means that if I don't hold women accountable for anything they do, I don't hold them accountable for anything they do that ultimately affects me. So if a man got two women, everybody go, well, y'all should just get mad at him. Wait a minute. The other girl knew about you, though. If we don't say anything about her, then it continues to make it to where people want to be side chicks because nobody is admonishing them for their behavior. It's like, hey, I could just be out here being a side chick all day long and no one's going to say anything to me. I'm just going to get away with it. Why wouldn't they keep doing it? You get what I'm saying? Like, why wouldn't they just keep doing it? And that's why side chicks do what they do. Because they're like, well, it ain't like somebody gonna say anything to me. It ain't like people gonna put me down for it. So I'm about to get this money. Because maybe I'm in a situation where I can't necessarily get a dude that's got bread that easily. So forget it. I'm just gonna get this money. Get this lifestyle. Get this D. And sometimes that's all the side chick looking for because they have jobs. That's what I'm saying. There are more women out here who can support themselves financially. They have everything they want in life but a man. And they're becoming side chicks even more. Over the last 10 years I've been doing this, I've noticed that there are more wealthy side chicks now. Even more than 10 years ago. Like 10 years ago, I didn't really get anyone who was wealthy trying to be a side chick. But now I'm seeing more wealthy women going, hey, I'm willing to be a side chick to this dude who doesn't even have money because I have everything that I want in life. I don't really feel like I have time for a husband or a man that I'm with all the time. But I do have time to get some D, hang out every once in a while, do some little fun stuff, and then send him back home to the other girl because I got bread. There are more women wanting to do that. So now it puts he might even be living with the other girl. But it puts her in a situation where even if he's living with her, she's powerless. Because she could break up with him, but it's not like she could be like, oh, well, I'll kick you out of here. Because he'd go get money from his side chick. Hey, man, I ain't going to be able to lay that D if I ain't got nowhere to stay. She'd be like, man, you can't stay here, but I got your rent for another spot. They got it like that. It's dudes out here that's basically playing the concubine role and loving it. They're like, I don't feel emasculated by that. Because you got to think, you can't shame guys like you once could because masculinity is already shamed so much that really, what can you say? It's like, well, if I don't accept money from you or I don't want you, a woman, to be able to take care of me, don't that mean I'm toxically masculine? If I'm not willing to take on the same exact role that you would take on, doesn't that mean I'm toxic? Y'all said it. You said it. So a guy like, I don't get no credit for being what you would call a man's man. So I don't have to do nothing. I can chill. The shaming isn't going to work. Because like if I hold the door for you, I'm a chauvinist. So why not just let you completely do everything and I'm just going to chill and I'm not even going to try. And I'm going to have 2 or 3 girls. People don't think about it. Let's see what else we got. I got exes who complain about knocking their companion up, but they still marry them. I mean, I don't know if you talking about the side chick. Dudes marrying the side chick way more than they ever used to before because like I said before, the side chick used to be frowned upon. But now the side chick is not frowned upon. You know what I mean? The side chick ain't no different than the main chick now. You could... it's just like a woman can have, you gotta remember, once you stop with the slut shaming and all that, then it's all on the table. So if I marry somebody who used to be a side chick that used to be frowned upon, like, oh, she used to be a side chick. But now it's not like that anymore. Because people are like, well, we don't really care because I used to be a side chick too. You don't know the story. It's going to be all that kind of stuff. Is it better to be a side chick of rich men than being with a broke, handsome guy? It depends on who you are and what you have. To be real, it depends on who you are and what you have. If you sitting over here on some M's, then you may not want to be a side chick to a rich guy because he ain't probably gonna have no more time than you have. And you might be with a broke guy and you might be happy like that because you got money anyway. It really just depends on you and what you care about. So yeah, because we don't need them problems that come with some men. It's less problems and drama for the woman. Yeah, unfortunately, like men and women are going to bring drama to each other. That's why you got so many men who don't want to be the main guy because they don't want the problems that come along with women. And they don't want the drama that come along with women. That's why it's been guys out there who are professional side dudes. That's all they want to be is a side dude. Now you're starting to see more women doing it too because they don't need to be with a man because they got bread in their own pocket. Now, it used to be women had no choice but to live off of a dude. Basically, you know what I mean? Because like you couldn't get rich or live in a upper level lifestyle for most women. We're talking about for most women without a man. Now so many women can, and they're like, well, what I need to be with a man to go through all this crap? But unfortunately, the trickle down is women who do want to get married, who do want to be in long-term relationships and things like that. Now that makes it to where there is just way more competition than there ever used to be. Because now you got women who side chicks to 2 or 3 guys. You got women who are side chicks to 2 or 3 guys now. You know, it's like, and they're perfectly good women. It's like, you can't, from the outside, you can't see nothing wrong with the girl. She got a good job. She go to church. You know, you don't see nothing wrong with the girl. So you're like, well, it's rough, man. The world has, people don't realize that the world is kind of taking a weird turn. Somebody said there's no sense. Why was she a side if you marry her? Man, a lot of dudes don't really see that much difference between their main girl and side chicks nowadays. I'm just being real. Because a lot of times women who are like the main chick, they don't really do no more for the guy than the side chick does. It's not like a lot of women, because once again, we go into feminism where people teach you not to have any real value in a relationship. It's like, I'm not about to pay no bills. I'm not cooking. I'm not cleaning up. I'm not doing none of that stuff. I want a man who makes just as much as I do or more. And I don't want to cook, and I don't want to clean, and I don't want to be at home taking care of the kids. So that means the side chick is, a lot of situations, just as valuable as the main one. She was like, nah, he got to be doing something to get money. I don't mind helping if he's trying, but I can't be a side chick. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, just like women always say, what you won't do, somebody else will. It's like that for men now. Like I said, like some women will be like, nah, I ain't going to be with no dude that ain't working. I ain't going to be with no dude that ain't making no money or even trying. And he'll be like, okay, bye. Get right back on Tinder. Get right back on Tinder. He already probably had about his Tinder probably still up. Yeah, they be take his shirt off, get on Instagram. You know, if you date the dude with a 6-pack, it's like dating a dude with $1 million. Cause the minute you get on his nerves, shirt come off, Instagram, Google eyes, heart. Google eyes, heart. Google eyes, heart. Hey, what you doing? Inbox. Women are just as thirsty as men now. They just as thirsty. What you doing? Oh, did you break up with that girl? Oh, I saw you had single on your status now on Facebook. That, and they'll be all in that man inbox in seconds. And he ain't got no job. He ain't got no money. They'll be kicking the money. He'll be hitting them up. Cash at me. What's not clicking? What I'm going to do with 200? Men can do that to women now. And there's plenty of women who will take it. Plenty of women. I work with women that got all kind of bread. They're not ugly. They're good looking. But the market is so difficult, especially when you work a lot. Because you got to remember, a lot of women working 85, 90 hours a week. There's a lot of women who work their ass off. So if you work all the time and you get a dude that's good looking who will spend time with you and he's fun to be around, a lot of times women don't want to lose that. Because they're like, I can't go get somebody to be like my man and I'm with all the time and all that kind of stuff because I work all the time. Does the child of the side chick get any daddy issues in life? I mean, the child of the main chick gonna get daddy issues. I mean, people gonna have daddy issues sometimes if their dad is around all the time. Sometimes if their dad's not around at all. I mean, really, some stuff is just how you process what's happening in your life. That brings me into the last thing that we'll try to do real quick. Should men and women care about money when it comes to relationships? And I think this kind of goes into what we're talking about as far as feminism is concerned and what's happening in the movement. It's made it to where money is always at the forefront. It's always something people talk about. But I think that when it comes to money, it's just, are you guys compatible with money? I think, unfortunately, what's happened with women is a lot of y'all got everything y'all want in terms of your finances, but you don't use those finances to get somebody that you really want and create a comfortable relationship. A lot of y'all still out here trying to get somebody who's rich. You might make some pretty good money. Now you want somebody who's rich. Y'all both work 90 hours a week, so it never works out. That's where you end up with the F-boy, if you want to call it that. So I think, you just got to ask yourself, do you really need money? Does that have to be a part of your relationship? Does that have to be something? Now, do I think it matters whether or not the person is trying to do something with their lives or have some type of goals or whatever? Definitely. I think you need to be with somebody that has something going on, some type of goals, some type of ambition. Even if it's not ambition to be rich or anything like that, but just they want to do something with their life. Just being with somebody who's cool with just being at the bottom, 9 times out of 10, that's not going to make your situation better in the long run. So that's kind of what I think as far as money is concerned. All right, for anybody who got questions, we're going to do questions for like the last 30 minutes. If we don't have a lot, then we're going to get out early. Make sure that you sign up with me on Patreon today because all master classes are $5. If you already signed up on Patreon, you're going to be able to get master classes for $5. If you just signed up on Patreon, master classes for $5. I don't care how much they cost. If they $70, $80, it don't even matter. You'll be able to buy them for $5. All right, what questions do we have? Make sure y'all hit me with some super chats and some stickers. Stickers kind of light. Come on now. Stickers kind of light and the super chat's kind of light. It's enough people up in here. Y'all can show me some love now. Come on. It's looking like another little TKO around here. Let's go to the poll. Thank you, Tandrilla. Can men get attached through sex? Some can, but it's usually not the thing that attaches men. I will say this, though. And people a lot of times will disagree with this. But I think if you like somebody a lot and then y'all sleep together, there's gonna be more of an attachment there than if you just like somebody and y'all just never had no physical relationship. But for the most part, like, you ain't gonna just sleep with no dude that didn't already have feelings for you and he start having feelings and start falling in love. Right? I don't buy that. I'm not saying that it can't happen with anybody, but for the most part, I ain't buying it. Okay, so should you go Dutch on the first date? 53% of you say no, 47% say yes. So that was a no for most people. My opinion on going Dutch on the first date is actually, and I'm not one of these people who really try to be on this whole super courtship type of stuff. But I say no also. I actually say no also. And here's the only reason why I say no. Is because when you go Dutch on a date, it kind of confuses whether or not it is a date. Even if the girl pays or the dude pays, I'm not even really, it don't matter who pays to me. But when you go Dutch, it really turns it into a friendship. So I think that somebody got to reach in their pocket and pay. Whoever invited who out is what I say. If you invite somebody out, then you should pay. If you want somebody to invite you out, say you're a woman, you say, I would never pay for a date. Well, don't invite nobody out. You need to wait until, if you want to be in that role, you got to stay in that role. You got to wait till you get invited. Because it looks kind of bummy to invite somebody out and then have them pay. You should at least offer. All right, what else do we have? Make sure y'all hit these stickers and super chats. Also, if you want to keep knowing whenever I'm going to come out with a live, make sure you hit the bell so that you can get notifications. Get on that notification squizzard. Sign up with me on Patreon tonight. Masterclasses will be $5. I've got the inspirational bundle. That's one you should definitely get if you haven't. If you're going through anything in life, especially with what's been going on over the last couple of years. I know a lot of people that had some down economic times, just down lifetimes. Families are strained and all that. That inspirational bundle is really good. It's got stuff like the Lost Art of Perseverance in it and a couple other things. You definitely need to check that out. That'll be $5 now. How to get them to chase you. That's not only good for relationships, that's good for anything. It's really a business book that's built off of that's geared towards relationships. Because basically what I show you is how to create a sense of urgency in other people. So you can do this if you're looking for a promotion. You can do it if you're looking for a raise. You can do it if you're trying to sell or whatever you might have going on in business also, as well as in relationships. That's $5 now. It was like $69.99. That's $5. So make sure you check those out. I got a lot. Cold-hearted game, how to get your ex back. I got a lot of stuff. It's all $5. Yeah, you got to sign up for Patreon. Sign up for Patreon. Once you become a Patreon member, then you'll get a coupon. This is how we do it. Then you can go over there. Now, I know some of y'all that get on here, y'all don't buy no master classes until y'all hear that I'm doing the Patreon thing. Then you sign up for the Patreon and you buy like every master class that's on there for $5. I'm aware that people do that. Okay, I just want you to know that I'm aware that people do that. I ain't tripping, you know what I'm saying? I'm not tripping. I try to do stuff for people who watch the lives. That's why I really only offer these for people that are on the lives. If you come on the live, I'm always going to try to do a little something, just to show some love because y'all show me love. So I try to be like, hey, you came on the live. I already know y'all gonna get like, I don't even, you probably gonna get, what is it? It's gonna be like what? $300 or $400 worth of master, something like that. You'll get a few $100s or so worth of master classes for like next to nothing. But I'm cool with it. Hopefully it helps y'all out. That's what I made them for. I charge for them because I need to make money too. Shoot, I gotta help me too. Y'all don't want me to be homeless, do you? Some of y'all might be like, yeah, I don't care. It ain't me. All right, feel free to keep leaving me stickers and super chats once I get up out of here. But it's all love. I appreciate everybody for coming out today. Sign up with me on Patreon. The link is still there. It'll still be there in the chat box. Make sure you sign up tonight, and then whatever you need to get will be available to you. It's your man, ChazzEllis, once again. Peace.